Hey YouTube, it's Liana.
Chrys.
We're back again.
So today we are telling our coming out story.
So everybody has their own individual story on coming out. We've been asked quite a few times to tell our story, so we thought it would be pretty cool to let you guys know how it happened for us.
Not your ordinary family. We invite you to come and see just how we live. It's the Sullivans. Just how we live. It's the Sullivans. The Sullivans.
Now Aria is here. She's sitting in her bouncer, so you might hear a little noise. It looks like she's falling asleep, but she's not asleep yet.
She's playing with her blanket.
Oh, mommy. So I'm gonna start our stories off by saying that we both have had boyfriends before. We both tried it. I'm a big believer in don't knock it till you try it. I tell all of my straight friends that all the time when it comes to this gay stuff. You know, as kids, the way that we're taught, the way that we grow up, you know, the way of the world is that a guy and a girl are supposed to be together. Mm-hmm. There are some gold star lesbians out there. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them.
Me neither.
But, you know, I just wanted to start our stories off by at least saying that so that you guys know what to brace yourselves for with our stories. And I'll kind of let you take it.
Oh, thanks.
Hi. Like your mommy. You can hang out with us for a little bit.
She's smiling. She's really tired. So to start off my story, I kissed a girl for the first time when I was probably in 5th grade. It was a truth or dare between my sisters and one of her friends. And my sister Amy actually dared me. She was like, I dare you to kiss Jenny, and that's their friend's name. And I was like, ew, no, I don't want to do it. But then they were like, come on, you suck. So I remember I like juiced up my lips. Like I put Vaseline all over my lips. Because I thought that was going to like not make it count. And
I did not expect that.
I thought that was gonna make it like count. So I ended up, we just pop kissed. It wasn't nothing major, but to me at the time it was super disgusting because who was I to know that I was gonna end up liking girls?
How old were you?
I was in 5th grade, so I had to be like 10. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, my first time kissing a girl, I was in 8th grade. There was this girl at my school. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't know who's watching, but she had a girlfriend at the time, and I like when she finally told like our little group of friends, I was like so jealous because I'm like, oh my god, like she has a girlfriend. I wish. Like that sounds so cool. You know, because I've always found girls attractive, but I just knew that it wasn't right. Especially at that age, I just knew it was not right. But when she came out and she told us, I was like, oh, that's dope. But then her and the girl ended up having some issues. And from my understanding, they broke up. And I don't know. We hung out one day after school and we ended up kissing. And the first time I kissed a girl, a real kiss, I literally saw stars. Like I saw fireworks. Some crap went off in my head that was like, yes, this is it. This is it. It was great.
My sister right before me, she actually dated girls before I started dating girls, and you know, she's bisexual even to this day. She likes girls, she dates guys, she does her thing. But her and my best friend used to always taunt me, and they'd be like, your favorite color is purple, you're gonna be a lesbian.
Purple's a lesbian?
Because that's what indicates the rainbow color. Like if it's purple, it's for gays. So they used to tell me all the time, your favorite color is purple.
That's weird how they put that together.
Yeah, it was Cindy. But she was like, your favorite color is purple, you're gonna be gay, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, ew, no, I would never, that's so disgusting. I used to bash the crap out of being gay because to me it was just like, I didn't want to accept it, but then,
Denial.
yeah, I was in complete denial. Like, it's crazy, like looking back at it, I'm like, wow, I was a fool. I could have probably, you know, have been
Everything happens in time.
dating girls back in
Everything happens the way it's supposed to.
But yeah, I mean, I was in complete denial. So after, obviously, I was young. I didn't really know anything about it. I got into my first actual relationship when I was 15, turning 16, somewhere around there. And it was with a guy, obviously. But when him and I were together, I used to stare at girls all the time. Like, this is something that he pinpointed to me once after we broke up. Like, I should have known that you like girls because you were always checking out girls. And it's true, because a girl would pass by and I'd be like, damn, she's pretty. And it's kind of like, okay, he was an awkward kid. But yeah, that was pretty much how it started off. And then when I started going out to the club with my sisters, because I did use their IDs, you know, I was bad. I was a crazy kid living out in Miami. You know, I had older sisters. They were always going out. I wanted to join them. My best friend was always going out with them and everything. So yeah, of course I wanted to go out with them. So I started going out. I met my first girlfriend, and at the club we were all just hanging out, saw her, you know, I found her attractive obviously at the time. She found me attractive. We started talking or whatever. And I mean, we hung out once at a hotel.
Because I look at you.
Yeah.
I look at you.
You make me flopper. So we hung out once at a hotel, made some bad decisions. I woke up and I ended up finding out that I had a girlfriend when I woke up.
That's why you shouldn't do drugs or drink or anything.
Yeah, it was bad decisions.
I'm lying. Drinking is okay.
Yeah, drinking is totally fine. But I found that I had a girlfriend. I remember my friends like cheering me on, talking about, oh my god, yeah, you guys made it official. I'm like, wait, who made it official? I have a girlfriend. Wait, what? And it was like mind blowing. But you know, we kept it moving from there on out. We lasted for about a year and some months. Wasn't really nothing serious. And then
Oh, that's serious, babe.
no, it's not. That wasn't serious at all. She could vouch for that. So, like I said, like a year and some months, and then after that, we broke up. I ended up moving out here to Orlando, and just maybe a few months of me living here.
Can I look at you now?
Yeah, you can look at me. Stupid. Just a few months of me living here, I went out to the club, and then I met her.
Okay, now let's rewind and tell them you're coming out.
Oh,
Skip coming out.
okay. I sure did. I told you guys my whole story, but I didn't tell you guys how I came out.
She just wanted to let you guys know when she met me. Hey,
Where's
you spit out your bubble. She has another one. Don't give her that.
Oh, no.
You spit out your bubble, mommy.
Swap. Go ahead, mommy.
You want your bubble? You want to say hey to YouTube? Say hey, YouTube.
Say hello.
Hi. You're so sleepy. She's so sleepy. My gorgeous baby.
Okay, so my coming out story. I guess this is what this video is about. The first person that I told was my sister Jenny. For you guys that heard the name Jenny earlier in the video, that's not who I kissed. My sister Amy and Jenny. So happens to have had a friend named Jenny that I kissed. Because you know some people are like, oh, she kissed her sister. No, that's not my kiss. But I told her first because me and her at the time, you know, we're still really close. But at the time, you know, we lived together and everything like that. And I kind of like opened up to her and told her, hey Jenny, you know, I kind of like this girl, you know, it's kind of hard for me. How do I do it? Blah blah. She gave me advice. She was honestly the only person in my entire family that knew. And then, you know, she allowed it. Obviously, you know, the girl, she had ended up bringing some clothes over because she was having some issues or whatever. And she left a suitcase inside of the room where I was sleeping at, well, my room. And then my mom came over. She started cleaning like the whole house. She was just being a mom. And she found the suitcase with the clothes. And she's like, oh, what is this? Why is there a guy's clothes inside your room? And I'm like, Mom, it's not a guy. She was like, okay.
Bobo number 2 went down.
She was like, okay. And that was it.
You don't even care that she lost her Bobo, huh?
I'm trying to tell my coming out story.
See, mommy doesn't even care that you don't have your Bobo, mommy.
I care. She obviously doesn't want it.
She doesn't. I'm gonna put her back down.
Well, no, if you're gonna put her down, she'll probably fall asleep with her mouth. Let me watch it.
Okay.
So yeah, ever since then, my mom, she was just kind of okay with it.
But your mom's cool anyway.
Yeah.
She kind of accepts you for what you are.
So my mom and my dad, they didn't have a good experience with my first girlfriend. There was just a lot of issues, you know, from breaking up to the making up to, it was very inconsistent. We got a little violent occasionally. And, you know, hey, it happens, we grow, we learn from it. But now they absolutely love her. Like, my mom is really open when it comes to all of this. So she treats her like a daughter. My dad treats her like a daughter. Like, he wants to show her the business as far as like, he has an AC company, and he wants to take his time out of the day to show her everything that he knows, so that whenever he decides to retire, she can actually like pick up and take up after him.
That would be awesome. But other than your parents and Jenny, like your sisters and stuff, like, did anybody else in the family have an issue, like, as far as aunts, uncles, problems?
Actually, now thinking about it, my grandma, she had an issue with it, but it wasn't necessarily that she didn't accept it. She was just, hey, you're rude, I'm talking.
You were yelling at us?
I'm talking.
I want to go to sleep, and you're talking.
My grandma was a little standoffish because obviously she's an older woman. Back in the day, especially in Cuba, they didn't accept none of that. It's basically like like a huge no-no. And babe,
what? You don't want to talk about my booty in the air.
You're distracted
instead of waiting for me to come back.
So my grandma was a little standoffish because back in the day, you know, she's an older woman. They didn't accept that. It's not as open as it is now. So, you know, she kind of like held back a little bit, but now like she absolutely loves Chrys. She buys her gifts. Like, I mean, it's really cute. She's always called me her tick because I was always on her when I lived in Miami. Like, her and I were inseparable, and now she considers all of us her ticks. Like, it's adorable.
Yeah, I love her grandma. She doesn't speak any English, but we communicate the best that we can when we're alone, and whenever Liana's around, she translates for us. So like, she's so cute. I love her so much. Oh, a situation with you, your aunt and uncle.
Which one?
Theo William.
Oh, Sandy. That's not my aunt.
She was your aunt. They were together. They were married. Excuse me, but she had an issue with us.
She did. I remember at my sister's baby shower, we showed up. She was hanging out outside, and then the minute we showed up, she grabbed my cousin Andrew and took him inside of the house because she didn't want him around lesbians. But now my uncle loves her.
Don't want to give him a lesbian booties.
Ever since my uncle and her got divorced, he loves us. Like, he's been super open, and he's even apologized for the way that he behaved because of how she saw things. He basically like felt like he had no choice but to see things in her perspective because
it was his
of
wife.
the fact that they were married. Exactly.
Which I respect. You know, I respect that. At the end of the day,
but he's the man in the relationship.
I feel like it doesn't matter.
I get it.
Right. Okay.
I get it. Yeah. Because
but we're all good. I mean,
yeah.
we didn't miss out on nothing.
Not at all.
We've been good. All right. So you guys heard my story about how I kissed my first girl and how that went. After that happened, I'm not gonna lie, from that day on, I knew that I wanted to be with females. I knew that.
Guys, grab your popcorn and a soda. There's some good shit.
It's not that good. I have had an interesting life. We should do story time. Like,
no, I'm not with it.
Why?
Because my
stories,
right, my stories are lame. We could do story time with Chrys. I'm done with that.
Oh man.
Cause you got some good stuff.
I do. I really do. I've gone through some crap.
Okay. She's old. Damn, your swerve game is strong. I hope you swerve every other chick in this earth just like that.
Ever since that day, I knew that I wanted to be with females. I just didn't know how to go about it or anything like that. And as a matter of fact, I had a boyfriend. My boyfriend, Javion's biological father, we started dating when I was 13 years old. And my mom used to tell me all the time, you can't have a boyfriend until you're 16. That's the age and da. Okay, well this guy was a really sweet guy. Like he would wait in the rain for me on the corner and everything for my mom to drop me off so that he could walk to school with me. Like he was really, really sweet. Sweet kid.
What's that movie?
Doesn't matter.
The Notebook.
We're not going there. This ain't no Notebook love. But he was a sweet guy. He was so sweet that my mom, like he caught my mom's attention and my mom was like, you know what? I don't mind. Go for it. Well, thanks, Mom. Because we ended up being together for 5 years. But what the world does not know is that for the 5 years that I was with him,
Dum dum dum.
I cheated on him with girls a lot. And I feel really bad admitting that because, you know, being a cheater is never a good thing. But I couldn't help myself. He was really good to me. Like with us being kids and everything, it's not like we were adults and we can go on dates and do all this kind of stuff. You know, we were kids. But me and his mom had a really good relationship. He had a good relationship with my mom. Our moms had a good relationship.
They still have a good relationship.
They do. To this day, they still speak. So it was easy for us. It was easy. He was my best friend. I knew I didn't like boys, but I liked him. Anyway, there was this one girl. Again, I'm not saying any names. Don't know who's watching. Actually, there was these two girls. I'm sorry. Two girls in high school that I was really, really, really close with. And like, no offense to anyone in the world, but these girls were beautiful. They were very, babe, you've seen them. Like, no fronting. Like, to me.
You can't take beauty away from nobody.
You can't.
Absolutely.
And to me, at least back then, I was like, oh my God. And they're interested in me? Like, this was amazing. One of them was a little more outgoing, and she kind of like came on to me, which was perfect. Like, I told her that I felt like I was bisexual, but I hadn't done anything with any girl before. And she had a boyfriend, I had a boyfriend, but she told me, we were hanging out one day and she was like, she said her boyfriend's name, no names. She said his name.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And she's like, he knows that I like you. And I just sat there like silent.
Screw, screw.
Did she just say that? I thought she said
Me?
Huh? And she's like, did you know that? Because I was completely silent, I didn't even respond. She's like, did you know that? And I was like, no, because I didn't even know that you liked me. And it was just like awkward, like an awkward silence. It's like, okay. And I think we were watching Mari or something like that.
Wow.
So we just went back to watching TV and it was just like, okay. Anyway, so I went and I stayed the night at her house one night and we were going to sleep. We slept in her bed, clearly. And while we were going to sleep, she started like rubbing down my stomach. And when I tell you, like I had chills in my fingertips, like I had chills.
Her
like,
chills had chills.
I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. Like, this is really happening. And she started kissing me. Like, this was like a full-on, like, heated makeout session. And I didn't even know what to do. We didn't do anything that night but make out, but it was like making out. And that was like serious. Of course not. Nobody does anything better than that. That's why I married you, girl. Top notch. Number 1. Top of the list. You got it. We were kids.
I know.
I was
I was
in high
just
school.
curious.
Anyway, things did move forward with her, and she was the first girl that I had ever been with in that way, because we did, you know, it escalated eventually. And from what she told me, it was the best and it was great, and I'm like, so I'm a natural. So I knew that I was right where I needed to. She said it, I didn't.
But we just think, oh, I'm a natural.
Well, she said it. I mean, it was my first time.
You tooted your horn.
But it was my first time.
Okay, go ahead, do your thing.
You know, again, she had a boyfriend too, so it wasn't like we could just like run off in the sunset together.
In the sunset.
dreams do come true.
I know that's right.
But it, it wasn't serious. I think it was more like a play thing, at least, mainly for her. For me, it was more like, this is like, I'm really finding myself. And aside from her, there was this other girl at school that, to me, honestly, I felt like she was like the prettiest girl at my school. And we just so happened to be really, really good friends. And we just kissed a couple times. It was nothing serious, but we used to write each other notes all the time. Again, I was a kid. Text messages no one would have done back in the day. If they exist, because they're screenshot and nobody wants receipts.
Yeah, but screenshot just started like that. Yeah, but...
No, I'm saying back in the day, through text message, no, it's receipts.
Yeah.
Regardless.
What do you think a note is?
You can say you wrote it and didn't really write it.
Yeah, but if you were with somebody for 5 years, they better know your damn handwriting.
Touche.
He used to do his homework. He knew your handwriting.
Touche. Well, no one was telling him anything. And mind you, I was not a complete feminine chick. Like, you never catch me in skirts. You never catch me in heels. Makeup, oh no. Like, I bought a purse once. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And it was not like a big, pretty, fancy, girly purse. Mm-hmm. It was this little purse that had these long straps and it hung like at my knee. And I felt girly with my little purse. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing, I'm a girl, guys. But, I used to dress like a boy occasionally. Like, out of 5 days of the week, 2 days out of the week, I was dressing like out of 5 days out of the week, 2 days out of the week, I was dressing like a boy.
That's 3 fingers.
No, 2. I was putting down 2, so you get. I got this.
I'm not scared of you.
3 days out of the week, I was dressing like a girl. I even would. This is a secret. I would get me and my boyfriend matching outfits. Like, I would buy it because I had my way of making money. Like, I used to do hair and do babysitting, do things like that. I would make money. And I would go and I would buy me and him outfits just alike so they could be cute. Oh, it's so cute. They dress alike. But in the back of my head, it's like, no, I felt good all day because I got to dress like a boy and he wasn't mad because we were dressed alike and it was cute. So it worked out. It's just that for me, back in the day in high school, it was so hard to come out. I watched this one girl come out. This girl, her name was Regina. I'll say her name because I don't know if she's watching or not, but whatever, it happened. She came out, and when she started telling people that she was talking to this one girl, all of her friends stopped talking to her. Like, everybody, seriously, it was so bad. I mean, I still talk to her because, low key, I like girls myself. But I watched her come out. And the way that everyone did her and everybody in school was talking about her and all of her friends neglected her, I was like, okay, I'm definitely not doing that.
You won't stop talking to me.
And being that I already had a boyfriend, I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep this going for as long as I can. And that's how I ended up with Javion. Because I kept it up and I played it off too well. Too well. And after Javion was born, I was really like, okay, I really have to stick it out with this guy because I want my child to grow up normal with his mom and his dad together. And I didn't want him to get picked on. I didn't want him to have to go through anything in life or to feel like a weird kid or anything like that. I knew what I wanted, but I knew that I had to do whatever I had to do at that point, seriously, because I had a child. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, as time went on, Javion was probably a year or almost a year when I finally left his dad. I told him, that it wasn't working out. It wasn't working out. And honestly, like, I had started talking to other girls, like, on a serious note. Like, I was hanging out with girls. I was like, he didn't even know at all. He was like out in the living room playing video games, and I'm in the room with my homegirl, but we're making out. Like I said, I'm sorry, I know, I'm a bad person. But it was like, I don't know, I felt like I was living a lie, and I was tired of living that lie, and I just wanted to come out. And so I finally told him, and he left. He didn't put up a fight or anything, honestly. He packed his stuff, called his mom, she picked him up, and he left. After that, that was the end of me and him. Never again. Like, as soon as he left, I already had a girl. You know, I already had someone there that I had been talking to and chilling with. And he completely neglected my son. Especially after he found out that I had started dressing like a boy completely. And that I was dating a girl. He was just like, okay, I'm done. He didn't want anything to do with Javion. Which is okay, because honestly, to this day, Javion has not missed out on anything in life. I made sure that he's had it all.
Absolutely.
There's not one thing in this world that he wants, and he's told me he wants that he doesn't have. Okay, now that I've given you guys that full story or whatever of how things kind of went down with me and why I was scared, how I ended up with a guy for so long. It was a nightmare. When it came to my family, I didn't necessarily tell anyone like what was going on. I threw out all of my girl clothes. I worked at Gap at the time. Gap was my first job, and I got clothes really cheap there. So I went on a full like new shopping spree. Yeah, I threw out all of my girl clothes and I went to Gap and I bought everything brand new, nothing but boy clothes. Started buying boxers and briefs and everything. So after my family saw that, because at the time I was living with my mom, my brother, his wife, his kids, and Javion. After they saw that I had completely changed my wardrobe and I had girls coming over and staying the night and things. As a matter of fact, I believe one time I left a toy that I bought like on my floor. And when I left the house, or somebody pulled it out, I don't know how, but I left the house and when I came home, it was like right there in the middle of my floor. And I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen? I don't even know how that got there. But I honestly think that my mom saw it, because that same night, she pulled me in her room and she kind of like...
It was subliminals?
I don't know if I can't even say it was a subliminal. I guess it was kind of like dead on. But she said, she put it on my brother, because my brother's room was right across from mine. And she said, so I spoke to your brother and he told me that he doesn't want to be in his room anymore, that he'd rather switch rooms with me because he doesn't want to be across the hall from that. I'm like, what's that? And she was like, you know, you and, you know, the girls and stuff, you know, he's not comfortable with it. And I was like, oh, okay. So my mom was like, so are you admitting it? I was like, admitting what? She's like, are you admitting that you're gay? I said, yes, Mom. Yes, I like girls. And she took a deep breath. It was like,
I could just picture her.
she's so sweet. She's so sweet. But and then she gave me this really nice speech. And she said, there's so many other things in this world that you could be. You could be a drug dealer. You could be on drugs. You could be a prostitute. You could be in prison. You could be a murderer. Like, there's so many things in this world that you can be, but you're not. She was like, you're gay, and I'm okay with that. And that meant so much to me to hear that from my mom, because I honestly didn't know how anyone was gonna react to it. I know my mom has always been a very supportive person in my life, but when it comes to being gay, lesbian, transgender, or anything like that,
it's a tough cookie to swallow.
It really is. And sometimes parents, like, you know, they react in a way that you don't really expect them to in some cases. Fortunately for us, we were blessed with parents that accepted us for who we are.
Yeah, because I can go back to my dad. I think he was like the hardest person to actually crack when it came to it, because to him it was basically like, you have to be with your own kind. He has to be Cuban. Well, it has to be a male. He has to be Cuban. He has to have blonde hair, blue eyes. Mind you, he doesn't have blonde hair, blue eyes. I don't know why he came up with that theory.
Seriously.
But that's the way he always saw it. That we should always be with a man, blonde hair, blue eyes, and nobody of a different color. I hit him with the whole shebang.
Hey.
Black. She's a girl. I mean, like, but yeah, it was
shot out. My mom, at the end of the day, was the only person that I really cared about. Like, as long as she accepted it, I was okay with it. Like, my dad was never in my life So his opinion didn't matter. I remember one time we even got into an argument and he called me a dyke. And I was like, duh. I am. That's the worst thing you can call a lesbian. Oh, you're nasty, you carpet muncher, you dyke. Hell yeah. You're right. Tell her what she's won. My older brother, he had a little problem with it at first. My little brother, love you so much. At first he was like, you know, I mean, I don't like it, you know. That's how he talks. Like, I don't like it like that, you know. But I mean, if you happy, you still my sister. That was it. That was it for him. But I mean, as far as my aunts, my uncles, anyone else, no one ever said anything about it. If anyone else in my family had a problem with it, they never addressed it with me. They
kept it to themselves.
No one's ever treated me differently, which was actually a shocker to me, especially for my dad's side of the family, because they're pretty like conservative.
Church, yeah, they're really church-going people.
They're great people. They're really, really great people. We've never really had a super close relationship growing up like that because my dad was the black sheep of the family. So I feel like he kind of put us in that category too. But, you know, still with that being said, they never treated me any different. Like if we had parties or if we ever met up or did anything like that, bless you, baby. Bless you. They were still accepting. They're accepting of her. They've been super nice to her. No one's ever treated us any type of way in our family at all.
Yeah, not at all.
So coming out for me was really easy. I was one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. I give it to you.
We were.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, with our story, it's not always going to be this easy. And even though I know a lot of you guys wish that it would be that easy and that your families would be that accepting, please don't be scared to open up to your families because you never know how they're going to react. You might wish for the worst, but it might even turn out to be better than what you expect. Like, we actually have a friend, she was terrified of telling her family, from her grandparents to her sister to her mom, and now it's like she ended up telling them because, you know, they found out pictures and obviously the girl always being around, and she couldn't just play out, oh, that's just a friend, because, you know, parents aren't stupid. But now her mom is starting to like open up to it, and yeah, it was a little rough in the beginning, but parents are really accepting at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you are their child, and they're gonna open up to it, like they're gonna be okay with it. So don't be scared to tell how you feel. Yeah, it's tough when it's an actual religion that you have to comply with, because that's something basically that you...
Aria has dreads.
That's basically something that you were kind of like born into, but at the same time, be who you want to be. You only have one life to be that person, and make sure you're the person that you want to be.
And in a lot of cases, I just want to add to that, sometimes your parents aren't going to accept it, family aren't going to accept it, but at the end of the day, you have to live your life for you.
For you, absolutely.
They'll eventually come around, and if they don't, you still have to live your life for you.
Yeah.
You have to be happy at the end of the day.
Because you don't want to go trying to please them your whole childhood and through your 20s and your 30s, and then, you know, everybody has to go at one point, and when they go, you could look back and be like, wow, I missed out on so much in like trying to please somebody.
I agree.
When you could probably like nip it in the butt right then and there and give them maybe 3 years to deal with it, as opposed to you going 20 years not dealing with other stuff yourself. So
I know one of the things that people tell me, like as far as family not accepting, is like, we were put on this earth to reproduce. I've done it 3 times. I am a lesbian. I do not have any relations with men or anything at this point. We're not talking about Javion. But I have created 2 children as a lesbian. So reproducing is not anything to hinder the world with you being gay or lesbian or anything like that. So if anyone ever gives you that excuse, ask them to come up with another one.
right.
Because like I said, I've done it way too many times for that to be the reason why me being a lesbian is a sin.
People that say that it's a choice, it's more so, that say that it's a choice, it's more so ignorance, because in our reality, you can help who you love. Like if tomorrow the person that says that it's a choice just so happens to fall in love with a woman or a transgender person or a gay guy, like whoever it is, that's not your choice, it's what your heart wants. You know, it's not necessarily, like you can sit here, you can fight it as much as you want, but you're only playing yourself. Because I refused to play myself. Yes, I was in a relationship with a man, well with a boy, because he was a boy at the time, and I mean, I tried it. But then I realized that there was something better out there for me, and I ended up marrying a woman, something that I didn't see with a man. So in our reality, don't fight your feelings. Be open to it and accept yourself, because if you don't accept yourself, nobody will ever accept you.
So we've told our stories. I hope that it could at least help someone out there that's going through the struggle of coming out. Even though we had it easy, like Liana stated before, it's not going to be easy for everyone. But at the end of the day, if it's you, let it be you.
Don't live vicariously through anybody else. You live through your life.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got Ari here. I wish she could talk and say, to tell a friend. But since she can't, don't forget to tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To meet the Sullivans.
It's the Sullivans, the Sullivans.